Teresa Halbach was 25 years old when she pulled into the Avery salvage yard on October 31, 2005. Her assignment was routine: photograph a minivan for Auto Trader magazine. But Teresa never left the yard. Her last known communication was a voicemail left on her employer's phone that morning confirming her appointments for the day. After that, silence. Teresa was vibrant, with an infectious laugh that brightened any room. As a photographer, she captured life's fleeting moments and saw beauty in the mundane. She was close with her family, who adored her tenacity and warmth. That Halloween morning was just another day of work for Teresa, but it would become her last. Stephen Avery, the man she was scheduled to meet, was no stranger to the law. In 1985, he had been wrongfully convicted of a brutal assault, spending 18 years in prison before DNA evidence exonerated him. Avery's release was a landmark case for the Wisconsin Innocence Project and had turned him into a symbol of justice gone awry. After his release, Avery returned to his family's salvage yard in Manitowoc County, trying to rebuild his life. He filed a $36 million lawsuit against Manitowoc County, seeking compensation for his wrongful imprisonment. It was a high-profile case, putting pressure on local law enforcement and casting a shadow over his newfound freedom. When Teresa's charred remains were discovered on the Avery property, suspicion immediately fell on Stephen. The police found her vehicle partially concealed on the lot, her possessions scattered nearby. It seemed an airtight case, but something felt off. Was it really that straightforward? Investigators pointed to evidence seemingly planted perfectly. A key to Teresa's vehicle found in Avery's bedroom during a second search, missed in prior sweeps. The prosecution argued it was irrefutable proof linking him to the crime. Avery's defenders countered, claiming the key's sudden appearance was dubious, suspecting tampering. Complicating matters, Avery's nephew, Brendan Dassey, became entangled in the case. A mentally challenged teenager, Brendan's coerced confession implicated both him and Avery in Teresa's murder. Yet inconsistencies riddled his account, casting doubt on its reliability. Was Brendan's confession genuine or a ploy to secure a conviction? The trial captivated the nation, raising critical questions about justice and integrity within the legal system. Evidence suggested law enforcement had motive to frame Avery. His pending lawsuit threatened significant financial repercussions for Manitowoc County. Did they manipulate evidence to prevent the hefty payout? As the trial progressed, testimonies painted a complex picture. Friends and family described Stephen as a man changed by his incarceration, more careful, less trusting. Yet the prosecution portrayed him as a remorseless predator, a narrative bolstered by Brendan's confession and the physical evidence. But cracks appeared in the prosecution's case. Bloodstains in Teresa's vehicle allegedly pointed to Avery, but questions arose about their authenticity. A vial of Avery's blood from his past wrongful conviction case had a broken seal. Did someone tamper with it to fabricate evidence against him? The defense argued that critical details were overlooked or ignored, painting Avery as a victim of systemic injustice once again. This time, though, the stakes were even higher: his freedom for life. What investigators found off the record would change everything. We will get to that. As the courtroom drama unfolded, the media frenzy intensified, with every twist covered extensively. Public opinion divided. Some saw Avery as a monster, others as a scapegoat. The trial became a battleground for broader debates about police corruption and the infallibility of the justice system. In the midst of the chaos, one question loomed. If Stephen Avery didn't kill Teresa Halbach, who did? The answer remained elusive, wrapped in layers of legal maneuvering and conflicting narratives. The verdict, when it came, would only deepen the mystery, leaving more questions than answers. Beyond the courtroom, Teresa's family grappled with their loss, seeking closure that seemed constantly out of reach. Her vibrant spirit, the laughter she shared, was now a haunting memory. The trial's outcome would not bring her back, yet it held the potential to rewrite the story of her final day. As the first half of this tale closes, we're left with a chilling uncertainty. Did Stephen Avery truly murder Teresa Halbach, or was he once again ensnared by forces beyond his control? In the next installment, we'll dive deeper into the evidence and explore the shocking discoveries that reframed the entire investigation. As the investigation delved deeper, more inconsistencies arose. The timeline of Teresa Halbach's last known whereabouts became a perplexing puzzle. Despite her confirmed appointment at Avery Salvage Yard, eyewitnesses reported seeing her vehicle leave the premises only for it to mysteriously reappear days later. This contradiction cast doubt on the prosecution's narrative, suggesting that someone might have moved the vehicle to frame Avery. Avery's defense team scrutinized the evidence with a fine-tooth comb. Key evidence, like Teresa's phone, camera, and PDA, were found burned in a barrel on Avery's property. Yet no fingerprints were discovered linking him conclusively to these items. This oversight raised eyebrows. If Avery had handled them, why weren't his prints present? The defense spotlighted a critical piece of evidence, a bullet fragment found in Avery's garage. Prosecutors claimed it bore Teresa's DNA, implying she'd been shot there. However, the forensics team failed to find any blood spatter or significant residue in the garage, a situation seemingly improbable if such a violent act occurred. Was the bullet truly the smoking gun or a planted clue? Experts testified, dissecting the forensic procedures. Surprisingly, they unveiled discrepancies in how evidence was collected and processed. A pivotal rewatch moment surfaced when footage revealed a key piece of evidence. A bloodstain found in Teresa's RAV4 was handled without gloves by an officer. This breach of protocol suggested contamination or worse, deliberate manipulation. Attention shifted to Brendan Dassey's confession, an integral part of the prosecution's case. His interrogation videos, scrutinized under a microscope, showed leading questions and suggestive statements by investigators. Brendan, a teenager with intellectual impairments, appeared confused, his responses inconsistent. Analysts argued that his confession bore the hallmarks of coercion. If his account was unreliable, could it really implicate Avery? The defense highlighted another baffling point: Teresa's phone records. Calls pinged off cell towers several miles from Avery's property after her supposed time of death, hinting she may have been alive longer than the prosecution claimed. This anomaly suggested her whereabouts and time of death might not align with the established timeline. As these elements converged, a rewatch moment emerged around the vial of Avery's blood. It was discovered in the Manitowoc County evidence room, its seal broken, a needle mark visible on the stopper. This detail suggested someone may have accessed it to plant evidence. The revelation was incendiary, implying a setup at the highest levels of local law enforcement. Then came the biggest reveal: a recording of a phone call between a Manitowoc County officer and the dispatcher, where the officer identified Teresa's RAV4 days before its formal discovery. This bombshell suggested authorities knew of the vehicle's location ahead of time, hinting at a planted scene. The implications were staggering, weaving a web of deceit and corruption. Despite these revelations, the jury found Stephen Avery guilty. His conviction sparked outrage and disbelief, fueling debates about systemic failures within the justice system. Avery's supporters argued the trial was a miscarriage of justice, a narrative manipulated to fit a predetermined outcome. Brendan Dassey's conviction, later overturned and then reinstated, added another layer of complexity. Today, Stephen Avery remains incarcerated, tirelessly appealing his conviction. He insists on his innocence, supported by a community advocating for a fair retrial. New legal teams continue to unearth potential evidence of wrongdoing, but the path to exoneration is fraught with challenges. The case leaves us with a haunting question. If Stephen Avery was indeed framed, who orchestrated this elaborate setup and why? This mystery lingers, a chilling reminder of justice corrupted. Darkness clouds the truth. The shadows whisper secrets we may never uncover.